Here is how I make my Midi sound human when it's actually been programmed in. This is Studio One. I'm sure it applies to a lot of other DAWs as well. Most DAWs have these kind of functions, so if you're not using Studio One, I'm sure it all applies. My name is Nick Rollo. I'm a producer and mixing engineer from Perth, Western Australia, in Australia. Don't usually say that, whatever. I hope you find this helpful. Let's jump into it. Alright, so what we got going on is this. Pretty simple. It's not very good, but you get the idea. Basically, the problem with programming stuff like drums or bass or any instruments is it just feels super grid tight, super robotic. It doesn't have any mistakes. It doesn't have any human feel. We can kind of emulate that. This is the machines taking over. That's okay though. Sometimes we're lazy and we can't be bothered playing stuff ourselves. So we want to start perfect and then make it less perfect, as opposed to the other way around, which is playing something and then quantizing it to make it perfect. I'll start with these drums as an example. I made this using the pattern editor, which obviously makes it perfect. I'm going to press G to turn it into just a normal MIDI file. Now we got this. As you can see, I have changed a few bits of velocity when I was in the pattern editor that I can do. But what I'm going to do now is highlight everything with Command A on Mac. I'm going to go down to Humanize. Humanize, I love it. I love Humanize. This is kind of where the magic happens. So the top part is velocity. So you can control how, with a hi-hat, for example, if you turn it down, initially it starts like this. And if you change the variance, you might get, the start range dictates if it's dragging, if it's pushing, it just gives feel. So what I like to do with drums, and you can do this for specific parts of the drums, we could just highlight the hi-hats. Maybe you want the kick and the snare to be perfect, which makes sense. Like that, I would do that usually. We'll do the whole thing though. Let's pull it back 15%. And these hi-hats are pretty quiet, so that might destroy them. Maybe let's go less. And we can go up a little bit. And then I'm going to drag the beat a little bit. We can see this. It all moves subtly. And back to what it was. It just adds that like slight pull, slight push. It feels a bit more human. I'll go kind of from this part, which is all perfect, into the slightly human. It is subtle, keep in mind. It's not crazy. We don't want it to be crazy. We want it to be in time, just slightly off. It's very robotic. I don't know I'm doing this, but then just kind of like has like that feel to it, Pretty easy to do. That took me like 10 seconds. Let's try it with bass. So I did play this in on a MIDI keyboard and then I quantized it. So now we'll go Humanize. I could probably go similar velocity settings. I think the start range I don't want as much, just really small amounts. Also a quick pro tip with this is with the starting notes, you might want to quantize them. If they're off, then they might not play. So you humanize it, then you select the starting notes on the first beat and press Q. So that's nice and subtle as well. That feels good. Let's do it the same with this. We'll just highlight it, humanize. This one can probably be even more extreme. It's all subtle though. And now let's do a comparison. We'll go from halfway through the swung one, or the more human one, into the completely programmed. It's obviously subtle. You might prefer the really heavily programmed one because it's perfect. that's fine as well. This is just saying if you want to make something feel more human, here is how you do it. To me, the kind of more bouncy one feels nicer, but there's definitely circumstances where you want it to be perfectly quantized. But yeah, sometimes you want to just have the kicks and the snares perfect, so just quantize those back up. Yeah, it works nicely. Have the hi-hats and the percussive things kind of off time, but the kick and snare perfect. It just feels good. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, hit like. If you like lo-fi music, click the link below and go stream my 100 plus songs of lo-fi music on Spotify and Apple Music. Help me pay the bills with my lo-fi music. Thank you. I'll see you later.